As I did with Jurassic World before, I wanted to make a series of videos addressing the complaints in Star Wars The Force Awakens and whether I agree with them or whether I disagree with them and whether or not they are fit well in the story that was presented to us or whether or not they should have been changed. So in this particular video, I would like to address Kylo Ren, specifically his abilities in The Force Awakens and Rey's abilities also, if we can throw that in there a little bit. There has been many complaints that Rey is a Mary Sue and that Kylo Ren has been made a chump at the end of the film, essentially, by being so heavily handedly defeated by Rey. So in the first place, what is a Mary Sue? A Mary Sue basically means it's a character that starts off of low rank or low stature. It then proceeds to basically save the day through unrealistic circumstances, basically because they're the main character and that they're supposed to be what the audience is, essentially, and the character represents the ideal, and even though that they start off not very important and not very crucial to the story, they end up winning just because they're the main character. That's what a Mary Sue is. Near the end of The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren really seems to have all the odds stacked against him as far as fighting goes. After Kylo kills his father, he is shot by a bowcaster by Chewbacca, a weapon that is really emphasized in the film to be an extremely powerful weapon. And we see that as a result of this injury, he seems to be moving a little bit slower, he seems to be taking a little bit more of his time in the duel, and he's even having to punch himself in the side, whether that is to get the dark side energies flowing and to let the pain motivate him, or whether just to get the blood out of his suit. Nonetheless, it definitely hurt him quite a bit. We even see that when he confronts him in the forest, he's profusely sweating. Also, Kylo Ren is a character who hasn't completed any of his training, whether that be his training with Luke as a Jedi, which we know he didn't complete, and then in The Force Awakens, he doesn't even have his completed training from Supreme Leader Snoke. We see in The Force Awakens that he's extremely powerful and proficient in the Force, but he's also very unrefined, even begging Supreme Leader Snoke for guidance and future teachings. Also have to remember that the comparison between Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens and Darth Vader in A New Hope is unfair. When we're introduced to Darth Vader in A New Hope, he's been killing Jedi for nearly 2 decades. And when we encounter Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens, his training hasn't even been completed yet. Although Kylo Ren is extremely powerful, he hasn't been taught much at all. In fact, I would label him as having about Padawan learning status. This will, however, change as the trilogy goes on. We know at the end of The Force Awakens, Supreme Leader Snoke says that he's going to complete Kylo Ren's training. In Episode 8, when Kylo Ren returns, mark my words, he will be vastly more powerful, and I believe that if Rey and Kylo Ren duel again in Episode 8, Kylo Ren will come out the victor. As I said earlier, the odds were stacked against Kylo Ren in his duel with Rey and Finn. First off, he had been shot by the bowcaster by Chewbacca, a weapon, as I said earlier, is extremely powerful. Then he had to face off against Finn after he incapacitated Rey. Then, even after that, he had to engage in a duel with Rey, someone who we know is extremely powerful in the Force, and she has some type of special lineage. We're not exactly sure about that, it's not confirmed or anything, but it's very likely that she could very well be the daughter of Luke Skywalker himself. So to answer the question posed at the beginning of the video, no, I do not think that Kylo Ren was too weak in The Force Awakens. I think he was portrayed very realistically. Kylo Ren as a character is incomplete, and he will become more powerful as the trilogy goes on, and he will become the great villain that we all know is inside of him. As it stands currently, we only have one piece of a 3-piece puzzle. We have to remember that before criticizing things like this in The Force Awakens. Now, by the end of the trilogy, if he's been beaten by Rey 3 times in a row, we can, of course, complain about that and take issue with that. But as it stands right now, I think it's a little bit unfair since, like I said, we only have one little piece, and that piece, I think, is a great introduction to a character who has a lot of potential, not even as a character itself, but in the Force and his abilities. So anyway, leave in the comments, what do you guys think about Kylo Ren? Was he too weak, or do you think that, like me, this is a great jumping board for his abilities in future movies? May the Force be with you. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and have a great day.